We have late breaking news tonight that National Guard troops here in Washington will be armed beginning this evening. Joining me now is Congresswoman Lateefah Simon, Democrat of California. Congresswoman, thank you for joining us tonight. The president appears to be expanding his crackdowns on American cities with black mayors and large non-white populations. First was L.A., then Washington, D.C. Now there's the Washington Post reporting that Chicago is next. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is out with a statement this afternoon saying the city is evaluating all its legal options to protect citizens from federal overreach. Here's Mayor Johnson on MSNBC this morning.
What he is proposing at this point would be the most flagrant violation of our Constitution in the 21st century. The city of Chicago does not need a military occupation. We're going to remain firm and vigilant in our commitment to ensure that our democracy is protected and our humanity is secured.
What's your reaction to this latest development, Congresswoman?
You know, I am the granddaughter of a vet. My grandfather, God rest his soul, survived the explosion of Port Chicago. I recall him talking about the days in uniform as a black soldier. Our soldiers deserve better than this. Our president is sending out men and women who have taken an oath to protect this country, not be in a situation where they're going against their own citizens. It's flagrant disrespect to local and state government. When the president of the United States makes a declaration of invading cities, again, we know that we're in trouble. Oakland, California is the city that I represent, and I want to tell you clearly, these cities have not requested support from the federal government in this manner. What we have requested is that the DOJ stopped defunding our programs in our cities to keep folks safe. We are asking the administration to fund Head Start. We're asking them to not cut SNAP. So again, this is foolery. If you cared about safety, you would let folks govern and provide resources for communities to do their best work. Again, this is authoritarianism at its finest.
And many of these cities, the crime rate has actually gone down, but I'll get to that later. Chicago's not the only black-led city in Trump's sights this weekend. He also criticized Baltimore for its crime rate, which has gone down. And this morning, he went after Maryland's black Democratic governor, Wes Moore, for daring him to walk the streets of Baltimore after the president threatened to crack down on the city over its crime rate. Trump threatened to, quote, send the troops in, as he has in Washington, and to withhold congressionally approved funding for their repair of the Key Bridge in Baltimore, because, you know, America first. And he followed up by questioning whether Governor Moore, a combat veteran who received a Bronze Star last year, lied about receiving the distinction. What's your take on Trump's attacks, Congresswoman?
I want to make very clear, as a new member of Congress in the last 8 months, I have been front witness to the assault on the American people by this administration. First and foremost, you have the President of the United States threatening city mayors who are hell-bent, these mayors, on making their cities and communities safer. These same mayors have stood shoulder to shoulder demanding that the administration do what they should be doing in terms of funding resources and programs that keep people fed, ensure that folks have health care when they need it. This isn't about safety. This is about control. If the United States wanted safer cities, we would provide the mechanisms for those safer cities. I got to tell you, Mr. Governor Moore is a fantastic leader who has said time and time again that To create safety means children need to go to school with full bellies, and teachers should be paid what they deserve, and that our streets should be paved with resources for community members. The Trump administration is slashing those very, very benefits. They don't care about safety. This is an attack on Black cities. The last thing I'd like to say to this question, Reverend Sharpton, is the administration is spending billions of dollars to attack immigrant communities, to completely go against what is written and promised in our Constitution for persons who are in this United States. And now he's waging a war on Black cities and Black men in particular. Listen, half of my time I'm in Washington, D.C. I left to come back to my district to do work. And on the way to the airport, I saw tanks coming into Washington, D.C. This is where we are, sir. And we have to stand strong. We have to stand strong and saying, this is not what we've asked for. We've asked for an administration that cares for its people.
Now, you mentioned it earlier. You represent the Bay Area, which has also been targeted by Trump as he vows to expand his crackdown nationwide. He's hinted that he may send National Guard troops to San Francisco to, quote, clean that one up too, end of quote. And he's listed Oakland as, quote, being too far gone. The mayors of both cities, Daniel Lurie and Barbara Lee, have rejected Trump's threats. We've already seen how this played out in Los Angeles. Why would any other city in California want to experience the same thing?
You know, when the President of the United States tells our National Guard to go into cities and hassle and push homeless people to a point literally of distinction, what the president should be doing is working in cooperation with these mayors and our governors and saying, what will it take to get treatment on demand for folks who are suffering from addiction? What would it take, and how can we support you in ensuring that these folks have shelter beds and long-term care? We, in fact, have an administration that is cutting the safety net into pieces in real time. Again, I want to say, this is not about safety. This is about control. This is about the president of the United States, again, and all of his appointees defying the promise of the Constitution. The overreach is intolerable. My mayor, Barbara Lee, has worked with numerous communities within Oakland in her 8 short months to reduce crime by 30%. And we understand that victims of violent crime deserve better. What they do not need is, again, a militarized city that could, in fact, infringe on their own rights. No one's asking for that.